Welcome to ET English, the unique English language learning feature of the Education Times. This recording is brought to you by Achini Abegunwardana and her team at London Academy of Speech. The Education Times comes to you every week with the Sunday Times, a leading publication of Vijaya Newspapers Limited. ET English introduces a unique way of learning English through stories. It has a short prose passage taken from a novel, a picture story, both of which are being published in episodes every week. All the lessons and activities that are given in the feature are from these two stories. Many English scholars accept that when you learn a language through stories, you remember them better. Further, the picture story will complement this by adding the visual component as well, where it will help the readers create vivid images in their minds, helping them to remember those dialogues and words through those incidents. The first episode of ET English appeared in the Education Times section on the 13th of September 2015. Now, we are going to bring the audio version of this feature where you can listen to the stories and lessons. First, the picture story, secondly, the novel, and finally, the lessons. To get the best out of this feature, we suggest that you get a copy of the Education Times and also a dictionary. It will also help if you have read the feature once or twice on your own. At the same time, try to get the correct pronunciation by listening to the audio attentively and repeatedly and trying to read it after every dialogue, emulating the voices that you hear. You will now listen to the ET English lesson that appeared in the Education Times section of the Sunday Times on the 1st of May 2016. This page will be uploaded to the Education Times English website on the 9th of May 2016. We shall start now, first with the picture story taken from iGeners, written by Ranjit Gunaratna. Illustrated by Anton B. Pereira. Episode 23.
Dilki has decided to quit school and her mother and father have come to see the principal.
So, madam, Dilki wants to leave the school.
And sit for the exam as a private candidate. No! I can't let her do that. She's a very good student. All this bad publicity and harassment from... I know, from other students, their parents and even her friends.
Yes, ma'am. It's too much for her.
I will talk to her. She is an athlete and must have the endurance. Yes, I told her exactly the same thing.
Later, Dilki tells Nimali about a change of decision. Madam told me to stay and face it, and I couldn't refuse.
Yes, Dilki, you have to be brave. This is just a temporary thing. And by the way, I got all the photos from Hans and uploaded all of them for everyone to see.
Let's tell all our friends to share the album publicly. Hans is at Param's father's shop with a friend.
Sorry, Hans. We don't have that cable. Try other shops. I tried everywhere. It is not available. Then there is only one thing to do. What is that?
think will happen to Rajpal today? Now let us listen to the final episode of A Good Medical Boy, based on the story from the book The Mirror of Paradise by Asghar Hussain.
Rajpal began to sweat and his body was rigid with tension. My hands felt clammy and my mind was numb. Mrs. Dissanayake and Harshini were looking at us as if we were convicts who had scaled the walls of the Bogambar prison. The man then got up, and as he did, we fled. We were not sure what he intended to do. It could have been anything from calling the police to piercing our lungs with that Castaigne sword. We rushed through the doorway and hurled ourselves over the gate. We got back to the campus safely, but from that day I looked at Rajpal as if he was some terrible disease.
Now the lessons and activities. These lessons and activities are designed and compiled by Mr. Noel Jaimana, Senior Lecturer, ELT Resource Person, former Deputy Director of English of the Ministry of Education, Sri Lanka. Activity 1. Read the picture story and match the information in the table appropriately. Table 1. Questions. Number 1. What did Dilki's father tell the principal? Number 2. How did the principal react? Number 3. What did Dilki tell Nimali about the situation? Number 4. What did Hans want to buy at Param's shop? Number 5. When Param asked Hans to try out the shops, what did he say? Now we move to the responses on table 2. A. She said Madam wanted her to stay in school and face the situation. B. He wanted to buy a cable. C. Hans said that he tried everywhere and it was not available. D. He told her that Dilki wanted to leave the school. E. She said that she couldn't let Dilki leave the school. Now we move to activity 2. Underline the correct contextual reference. Number 1. His body in the first sentence refers to 1. Mr. Dissanayaka's body. Number 2. Rajpal's friend's body. Number 3. Rajpal's body. Question number 2. My hands in the second sentence refers to 1. Mr. Dissanayaka's hands. 2. Rajpal's hands. 3. Rajpal's friend's hands. Question number 3. In the third sentence, us refers to 1. Mr. Dissanayaka and his wife. 2. Rajpal and his friend. 3. Mrs. Dissanayaka and Harshini. Question number 4. I in the last sentence refers to 1. Rajpal. 2. Rajpal's friend. 3. Mr. Dissanayaka. Question number 5. He in the last sentence refers to 1. Rajpal. 2. Rajpal's friend. 3. Mr. Dissanayaka. Now we move to activity 3. Create questions in order to get the following statements as answers. Number 1. Rajpal's friend's hands felt clammy. 2. Mrs. Disanayaka and Harshini were looking at them. 3. They were looking at them as if they were convicts who had scaled the walls of the Bogambara prison. 4. They rushed through the doorway and hurled themselves over the gate. 5. He looked at Rajpal as if he were some terrible disease.
Activity 4. Read the words selected from the text and the similar words given. There is one inappropriate word. Underline it. Number 1. Sweat. Perspiration, fluid, secretion, moisture, dampness, dryness. Number 2. Rigid. Unbending, inflexible, stiff, firm, unyielding, floppy, inelastic. Number 3. Clammy. Tropical, damp, slimy, sweaty, sticky, moist, dank, wet, humid. Number 4. Numb. Emotionless, shocked, dazed, traumatized, animated, frozen. Number 5. Sure. Unquestionable, indisputable, certain, definite, assured, inconclusive. Number 6. Terrible. Awful, pleasant, dreadful, rotten, appalling, poor, abysmal.
Now we move to the word bank for this week. Most of the meanings given are relevant to the context of the stories. Number 1. Harassment. Meaning, the act of annoying or worrying somebody by putting pressure on them or saying or doing unpleasant things to them. Number 2. Endurance. The ability to continue doing something painful or difficult for a long period of time without complaining. Number 3. Refuse. To say that you will not do something that somebody has asked you to do. Number 4. Temporary. Lasting or intended to last or be used only for a short time, not permanent. Number 5. Sweat. Drops of liquid that appear on the surface of your skin when you're hot, ill, sick, or afraid. Number 6. Rigid. Stiff, not bending or changing shape. 7. Tension. The state of being tense or anxious due to a frightening or unpleasant situation. Number 8. Clammy. Damp in an unpleasant way. Number 9. Numb. Unable to feel, think, or react in a normal way. Number 10. Convict. A person who has been found guilty of a crime and sent to prison. Now, let us look at the answers for the lessons on ET English, episode 32. Activity 1. Question number 1, D. Question number 2, E. Question number 3, A. Question number 4, B. Question number 5, C. Activity 2. Question number 1, remorseful. Number 2, nervous. Number 3, unexpected. Number 4, wielded. Number 5, an operation for mental illness. Activity 3. Question number 1, B. Question number 2, C. Question number 3, E. Question number 4, A. Question number 5, D. Activity 4. Number 1, consequences. Number 2, guilty. Number 3, admit. Number 4, gulped. Number 5, provoked. Number 6, gleam. Number 7, treatment. Number 8, seemed. Dear listeners, thank you very much for taking the time to listen to our recording brought to you by the London Academy of Speech. You are welcome to give us your feedback and suggestions on the telephone numbers and the email address given in the ET English feature in the Education Times section.
We will meet again with ET English episode 34.
Until then, goodbye and happy learning.